A reading from the Holy Gospel according to St. Matthew, chapter 25, verses 14 to 30. Passage taken from the Message version of the Bible. It's also like a man going off on an extended trip. He called his servants together and delegated responsibilities. To one he gave $5,000, to another $2,000, to a third $1,000, depending on their abilities. Then he left. Right off, the first servant went to work and doubled his master's investment. The second did the same. But the man with the single thousand dug a hole and carefully buried his master's money. After a long absence, the master of those three servants came back and settled up with them. The one given $5,000 showed him how he had doubled his investment. His master commended him. "Good work. You did your job well. From now on, be my partner." The servant with 2,000 showed how he also had doubled his master's investment. His master commended him. "Good work. You did your job well. From now on, be my partner." The servant given 1,000 said, "Master, I know you have high standards and hate careless ways, that you demand the best and make no allowances for error. I was afraid I might disappoint you, so I found a good hiding place and secured your money. Here it is, safe and sound, down to the last cent." The master was furious. "That's a terrible way to live. It is criminal to live cautiously like that. If you knew I was after the best, why did you do less than the least? The least you could have done would have been to invest the sum with the bankers, where at least I would have gotten a little interest. Take the 1,000 and give it to the one who risked the most, and get rid of this play it safe, who won't go out on a limb. Throw him out into utter darkness." The Gospel of the Lord. Reflections on the Gospel according to St. Matthew, chapter 25, verses 14 to 30. Pope Francis compares this parable with the life of every individual. He says, "This parable has a beginning, a middle, and an end, which shed light on the beginning, the middle, and end of our lives. Everything begins with a great good. The master does not keep his wealth to himself, but gives it to his servants. 5 talents to one, 2 to another, 1 to a third, to each according to his ability. It has been calculated that a single talent was equivalent to the income of some 20 years of work. It was so enormous value and would be sufficient for a lifetime. This is the beginning. For us too, everything always begins with the grace, not with our own efforts. With the grace of God, entrusting different talents to each of us. The life we have received, the good qualities that we possess, the indelible beauty God has given us by making us in His own image. This is the huge amount of talent that God has left with us. It is sufficient for our lifetime. But oftentimes, we look only at the things that we lack, and we complain about what we lack. We are seldom content or satisfied with what we have. We are so obsessed with our phrase, "If only." If only I had that job. If only I had that home. If only I didn't have this or that problem. This is illusory words. If only. It prevents us from seeing the good all around us. In the gospel, good servants are those who take risks. They are neither fearful nor overcautious. They do not cling to what they possess. If goodness is not invested, it is lost. How many people spend their lives simply accumulating possessions, concerned only about good life and not the good that they can do? Jesus addressed those servants who took the risks, calling them faithful. If you do not take risks, you will end up like the third servant, burying his abilities, his spiritual and material riches, and everything. There is no faithfulness without risks. Fidelity to God means handing over our lives, letting our carefully laid plans be disrupted by our need to serve. But I have my plans, and if I have to serve, let your plans be upset. Go and serve. In God's kingdom, there is no room for people who are lazy and scared. The third servant had said that he was afraid. Fear is a game of the devil, and it shows our lack of faith and trust in God. One who trusts God will not be afraid of anything. He or she will cherish the freedom of being a child of God and will dare to take the risks